Number to call up as always is 888-MAD-DOG-6. That's 888-MAD-DOG-6, 888-623-3646. And if you don't want to call in or the lines are too busy, which they always are, you can always go to Sirius.com, SiriusXM.com/GetSirius to send in your voicemail messages. Bring the rain. Bring the rants. I'm not running or hiding from anybody. I am here, okay? I hope y'all had as wonderful of a weekend as I did. There's a whole bunch of stuff to get into, okay? A whole bunch of stuff, all right? I'm talking about one NFL game after another. I'm talking about the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers losing to the Seattle Seahawks. I'm talking about Joe Burrow getting hurt. I'm talking about the Eagles going into Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City and walking away with a victory against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about Travis Kelce having meltdowns and what kind of effect is that having on the Chiefs, if any at all. What's really going on with him? There's a whole bunch of stuff to get into. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off something different on this Monday morning. Normally, 99% of the time, I'm starting off with some football because football took place on Sunday afternoon in a bevy of places throughout the country for the National Football League. Normally, I'm getting into touchdowns and interceptions and sacks, okay? That's what I'm talking about, all right? Normally, that's what I'm doing. We ain't starting that off today. And by the way, a little bit later on in the show, I got a special guest coming on the show. I'll tell you who that is at the top of hour number 2 right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. But I got to tell you something right now. Before I even get to that guest, I got to get to what took place in Las Vegas, Nevada, Saturday night at Allegiant Stadium. It was not a Raiders game. No, that's the night. That's the night, y'all. This was the super fight. This was Terrence Bud Crawford moving up 2 weight divisions, really 3 in my mind because we only fought 1 fight at the junior middleweight division. So he's really moving up from 147 pounds, okay? Terrence Bud Crawford moving up to the 168-pound limit in an effort to claim the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world from the grasp of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, I was there because let me tell you something right now. There's very few sporting events in the world that are better than a super fight in Vegas. I can tell you that right now. There's very few events. Props to Nick Khan of the WWE. Props to Dana White for the UFC. Props to Turki Al-Sheikh from Saudi Arabia, who basically funded the fight. Props to William Morris Endeavor, my boys, Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro. 70,482 people showed up for this fight. But the biggest props of the night goes to Terrence Crawford, who did not disappoint. He was supposed to be the smaller man. He was supposed to be the weaker man. He was supposed to be the man that was going to spend the entire night on his bicycle running for his damn life because Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming his way. That is not what happened. What happened instead, ladies and gentlemen, was a masterclass in boxing by Terrence Crawford. Now, to me, the fight, some people were saying it was a severely lopsided and stuff like that. I'm not going for that. I'm not feeling that at all. It wasn't like that at all, okay? I had the fight 5-4 in favor of Terrence Crawford after 9 rounds. It could have gone either way. And then he basically put on a boxing clinic over the last 3 rounds of the fight. And one rounds 10, 11, and 12. He used his jab. He kept his distance. He exchanged when necessary, which is something that I was scared to death of him doing. But he wasn't scared at all, okay? And even though this was his first fight at 168, and it was Canelo's 12th fight at 168, and the previous 11 fights at the 168-pound limit, Canelo Alvarez won all of those fights. Terrence Bud Crawford outclassed him. More headshots. He landed like 129 headshots to Canelo's 76. Certainly landed more jabs. Canelo obviously had landed more body shots because he was looking for the body shots more and more. Trying to chop Terrence Crawford down didn't work. Terrence Crawford looked strong enough to be in there. He was certainly skilled and poised enough to be in there. He walked in there supremely confident and then proceeded to back it the hell up. And as we sit here today, in the aftermath of that fight, that Terrence Crawford won on a judge's card, 116-112, 115-113, and 115-113, unanimous decision in favor of Terrence Bud Crawford. We have to have a different conversation to those out there. And Sean, my producer, if you could do me a favor, fix these lines so I can make sure I see everybody in this completion, okay? Because it's a little bit garbled up on the screen. Let me tell y'all something about Terrence Bud Crawford. This is the year 2025. He is the best boxer on the planet Earth. Terrence Crawford is pound for pound the #1 fighter on the planet Earth. It's secured with this win. Now, that doesn't mean that if he stayed at the super middleweight division that he'd end up beating somebody like the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. We ain't losing our damn minds here. It's not an accident that Canelo hasn't fought that man as of yet, because this man is something special, and he's a natural super middleweight that's having to fight at light heavyweight because he can't get anybody at the super middleweight or the middleweight division to fight him. But I'm talking about in terms of your skill set, what you bring to the table, and moving up essentially 3 weight divisions to claim a crown and to be a guy that is now the undisputed champion in this 4-belt era that we're living in boxing, to be a guy that is a undisputed champion, claiming all the damn belts in 3 weight classes, 140 pounds, 147 pounds, and now 168 pounds. What can you say? Terrence Crawford is 42-0 with 31 knockouts. He is undefeated. He is unblemished. This is who we're talking about when we're talking about Terrence Crawford. And now the question really, really has to be, where does he sit as an all-time great? He's clearly a future Hall of Famer. He's the reigning, defending now super middleweight champion of the world at 168 pounds. It's hard to imagine him stepping down. I mean, he can't stand the Charlos, so it's hard to imagine him stepping down to fight Jamal Charlo at 154. Maybe he'll fight Jamel at 168. But he's had some issues and hasn't really been in the ring much. So who's to say that Terrence Crawford wouldn't beat him? He'd probably be favored to beat him. Who else is he going to fight? He's not talking about retiring, but who else is he going to fight? That's a legitimate question. I just wanted to take a moment to give it props what it's doing. I was there. People saw me. I don't know why Netflix put me up on the screen, but they did. Y'all heard a lot of boos, didn't hear a lot of cheers. I heard some cheers. But I got booed, but who gives a damn? Let me be very, very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Boos, cheers, they're all the same to me. Are you watching? Are you listening? That's all I care about. That's my definition of cheers. And then you have some of these fools out here, particularly folks from my community, excoriating me because, oh my Lord, you know, I was celebrating Charlie Kirk. No, I was not. Don't know the man, never watched what he said before his political assassination last week. Never, I didn't know anything about what he had said. My point is, now that I do, although many people might find it offensive from different ethnic backgrounds, that's not my point when I was speaking what I said the other day. What I was saying was, he was murdered. Streamed live in front of all of our faces. And no matter what you think or what you feel about what he has said or what his ideology is or what his position may be, that ain't the damn time to be bringing that stuff up when a man is murdered in front of his wife and children. That's all I was saying. And I don't take back what I said one iota. And I'll leave it at that. People will lie and misrepresent my positions all the time. That's why I have a radio show. That's why I'm on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 82. That's why I'm debuting on POTUS Radio this Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. on Sirius XM, Channel 124, POTUS Radio, which is a political channel because I'm going to have a weekly show on that. I don't give a damn about criticism and all of that stuff. You disagree with me? Let's talk. You agree with me? Let's talk. Nobody's backing up. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. If I make sense, I'll say I make sense. But I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm not trying to be divisive. But I'm also always trying to call it like I see it so you know where I stand, and I'm giving you the transparency that you're looking for. I ain't going to come on the air and lie to you about where I stand and how I feel and what my positions may be. I'm going to put it out on Front Street to be corrected or to be validated. Just as I do with sports. Just like I'm going to continue to do now. Number one NFL story to me, as I'm sitting here to you right now, is the New York Giants losing to the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. I don't know about everybody else, but damn it, I wasn't happy about it. And it had really very, very little to do with the fact that Cowboy fans are happy, because we know how much I enjoy seeing Cowboy fans miserable. It was how they lost. 40-37. First of all, for the Dallas Cowboy fans out there, your defense sucks. Your secondary can't stop anybody. I mean, Russell Wilson looked like Dan Marino yesterday. Dan Marino. Brother threw for 450 yards. 1 week after we were talking about this is probably his last week as a starting quarterback for the New York Giants, the brother went out and threw for 450 yards. I mean, did you see Malik Neighbors and what he was doing? Did you see Wendell Robinson and what he was doing? Did you see how they were just blowing past the Dallas Cowboys secondary? Because I did. But what I didn't expect to see, considering the success that Russell Wilson was enjoying, I did not see him throwing that interception. Why are you throwing like a Hail Mary? It's overtime. Both teams have had possessions of the football in overtime. The next score wins. Why are you just throwing the ball up there and not guarding possession of the ball to make sure that you give yourself another bite at the apple? It was only second down, if I remember correctly. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns. Connected with Malik Neighbors on a 48-yard touchdown to get, oh, what a beautiful pass. And what a beautiful catch. Smacked in the eyes and everything. Still in all, Neighbors concentrated, caught the touchdown, went up 37-34 with 25 seconds left. I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, damn. You had it. It was yours. Methodically march down the field. Protect the football. Don't turn the damn football over. But Russell Wilson did just that, as far as I'm concerned, ruining an otherwise absolutely stellar afternoon that he had. And by the way, speaking of things that are inexplicable, like Russell Wilson's interception, what the hell was Brian Dable doing? Putting Jackson Dart in there for a play here or there. Yes, we know he's the future. Yeah, you want to get him reps, but still, just bringing him in for one play, the way Russell Wilson was rolling, why interrupt? Why camouflage the proceedings? Leave him in there. Let him play. That's not what the Giants did. That's not what Brian Dable did. And this guy, urBoy, for the Dallas Cowboys, who kicked the field goal to win the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the best kick in field goal. Brandon urBoy. 46-yard field goal on the final play of overtime after tying the game with a 64-yarder to end regulation. This brother might be the best in the business. He might be the best in the business. So all of that is stuff that we need to get into, and we absolutely will right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. Before I go to break, let's hear from Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the New York Giants, at least momentarily, that is, and what he had to say in the aftermath of the game, his reaction to losing the way that they did. Listen up.
We're in a 17-round fight. And we've battled first round, second round. We got more to do. And so I was just proud of how we, to be able to answer the way we did. I've been a part of a lot of crazy games. I don't know if I've been a part of something that crazy and that much grit.
Fair enough. You got to win games. And I'm interested in knowing what he feels about how they're going to bounce back from this. Here's more Russell Wilson.
And we got to keep answering the call. Today we didn't do enough to win. That's all that matters. Us as a team, us finding a way to win that game. We believe in the guys in this room, the defense battling, the offense battling, special teams. We laid it all on the line. You can't ask for any more effort and love, passion and energy and work than we just gave. So we have to respond back.
There you have it. Can the Giants respond back if they play offense like that? Here's my question. What happened to the Giants' defense? Coming into this season, we had questions of what production they were going to get at the quarterback spot. We had questions about what they were going to do offensively and whether or not they were going to run Malik Neighbors out of town because he was so disgusted with their offense he wouldn't want to be there. We didn't expect to see what we saw yesterday. And even with what we saw yesterday against a Dallas, and then we should call them the Alice Cowboys right now. Let's call them the Alice Cowboys for the rest of this show because they don't deserve to have a D in their name. They played no defense. They stunk, okay? The Alice Cowboys, that's what it was. But here's the deal. With that being said, how you going to bounce back from this if you're the New York Giants and you don't have any damn defense yourself? I mean, what happened to them? All of these are legitimate questions. I'll try to give you some answers, and I'm sure you'll have some for me as well. Calling up right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call. That's 888 Mad Dog 6. 888-623-3646. Plus, if you just want to leave in a voicemail message, you want to rant, go to SiriusXM.com/GetSirius. That's SiriusXM.com/GetSirius so I can hear your voicemail messages as well. All of that coming up. More football, more boxing talk, plus a special guest to start off hour number 2 right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. SiriusXM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Your calls and more in a minute.